What's up, guys? It's your boy Java Monkey J, and the Warlock Discord has spoken. For Phase 2, Season of Discovery, game has already been solved. Everything you need to know about Warlock, top meta specs right here, man. I'm gonna put this link down in the description below so you can check out these sims for yourself. These sims just came online. Our boy Niche has put in the work. He has built out the sims for us, and another guy by the name of Rain, I think. Yeah, this guy Rain right here. They've been working on the WoW Sim side, and if you've played Wrath of the Lich King, this might look familiar to you. This is on the WoW Sims Season of Discovery section. I think almost every class is available now on WoW Sims. They've been working on this for the past couple weeks now. But Warlock Sims, they're in, man. They're finally built out. So let's get right into this. So we have this first build, which looks like a very typical Rain of Fire, Curse of Immolate, Chaos Bolt with Incinerate filler. This will probably be similar to the build that you saw in my last video. We've got Demonic Knowledge on boots. We have Shadow and Flame on belt. These are runes that we've already talked about. And this looks like the full BIS list here. I've kind of poked around. It is confirmed that taking the new enchanting item and going in here and changing this to the plus 27 damage helm is not going to be worth the damage. If you see right here, we'll go ahead and sim this. And then we'll change this, we'll save this reference. And then we'll switch back to the tailoring head build with no enchant. Not quite as much damage, but I think it's safe to say if you're looking for a PvP build, you don't want to spend a lot of money. Maybe you want to be able to transfer back and forth. I think the tailoring profession is going to be what you're going to want to go. You're not going to want to go the enchanting just because there's limited options on the helm. And for PvP, I think the next best hat is like previous phase BIS. So, and that doesn't even have any stam. So you have to go all the way down to Twilight Invoker Shaw to actually get stamina out of your headpiece, and you lose like, what is that, 13 spell damage? So looks like tailoring will be BIS, especially if you're a flex player. If you're just parsing, maybe you don't go the tailoring head. I don't know. Looks like it's probably better for most people. And according to this sim, this is also your BIS list here. Kind of everything that we've already gone over. So you have the Piston Pendant. This is a Gnomer. The Synthetic Mantle, Gnomer. Gaia's Cloak of Fiery Wrath. Again, a BOE world drop. You're going with the Irradiated set with the Warsong Gulch Bracers. Your best in slot, Glimmering Gizmo Blade. You're going to want to go Orb of the, however you say this, or the Necronomicon. Again, all of this is confirmed. You can go with the Mecho Strider, or you can go with the Umbral Wand. It's the same thing. Dreamweave Gloves. This is sort of an interesting choice here to me. I did not expect to see Bloodwoven Cord outperforming the Engineering Waste. I did not expect to see this, so let's simulate this. Okay, so it's only about 3 DPS less, so I actually probably would go ahead and keep this on just because you can get a 3% increased chance to crit for 30 seconds. That seems pretty big. And then maybe running the Bloodwoven Cord when the cooldown is off for your belt. Kind of switching back and forth in between those seems like a really good idea. And then again, for PvP, the belt has plus stam, so it's going to be good to have in PvP. So it looks like final verdict, the professions you're going to want to have is engineering, tailoring. You're going to run the I-rated set. You're also going to want a second set of just the normal hyperconductive robe if you're going to be a PvPer, with maybe being able to run the previous phase boots. This is a great PvP item. Reducing damage by 30% is huge defensive cooldown. Very good. So we will be keeping tailoring, it looks like. So that's great. Let's just continue with the BIS list. You got the ring from Gnomer. You're going to have the Lorekeeper's ring. This is the Warsong Gulch ring. You're going to have this Gnomer trinket, which can be switched out for the previous phase BIS Invokers. They're about the same. One just has a trinket proc and one extra spell power. So basically a horizontal upgrade there. And then instead of going with the Warlock ring here, it looks like we're going to be going with Infernal Pact. And this is actually pretty surprising to me. However, once you kind of think about it, it makes sense. So the major problem with your imp is that he eventually will run out of mana on kills. If you run this item, it's not only giving you damage from the 20 plus 80 intellect being a 10 additional spell power from your demonic rune, it also gives your imp, 80 int, which is a ton of mana. So if we actually take this off and just replace it for let's just say this is pretty close to 10 spell power, you'll see a significant drop off in DPS, and it's mostly because of the imp damage that you're losing. So Infernal Pact seems to be the play, and overall this is going to be your PvE BIS list. And then, like I said, you're going to want to change out a couple pieces for PvP, like the IRAD set. But other than that, I mean, you're good to go. And the good thing about this set is a lot of these plus spell power items here are general spell power. So you won't have to be changing a ton of items when you go into PvP. Like at this point, you'll just be changing out the cloak and the belt for PvP. So that it's really going to save you a lot of money. So actually going tailoring instead of enchanting is actually pretty big here. So let's go check out the talents now. The talents ended up being a little bit different from what I had predicted. So if you see here, we have the normal 5 in Cataclysm, 5 in Bane, 5 in Devastation, 2 in Improved Firebolt. You grab Shadow Burn for the last little instant cast, just give you a little bit of extra. I don't know why they took points into Intensity. I would probably put points into Destructive Reach instead. I don't see a reason why you would ever take raid damage while casting Soulfire, Hellfire, or Rain of Fire. I don't really understand the point of having this. I would just put it in Destructive Reach. But it's not a terrible talent to add. It doesn't necessarily increase your DPS. You take 1 in Rune, obviously, 4 into Improved Immolate, and then instead of taking the 2 points that you would put into Improved Imp, you take those 2 points and put them into Emberstorm. If you see here, we'll go ahead and just sim this really quick how I have it. And if you take 2 out, put 2 in, just a little bit less damage, just about 2 DPS. So it's really not a big deal if you do want to have a little bit of a juicier imp, I guess. Maybe this will come into play on extremely short fights. Maybe if we change this duration to like a 30-second fight instead, and we simmed it again, and then we swapped out 2 here, 2 here. Maybe we'll get more damage. Yeah, so it looks like it's just because the Imp runs out of mana here. So maybe on shorter fights, we'll go to Improved Imp over Emberstorm. But as of right now, for the longer fights, about 1.5 minutes, which is about the time that you would get on a Kumai, for example, in Phase 1, looks like the 5 points into Emberstorm is going to be the best. But again, we'll be switching to Improved Imp once the fights get really short, if they end up being really short fights. So with that said, boys, let's take a look at this rotation, the final results. Again, it's just going to be exactly like last phase, okay? You're going to be spamming Incinerate. It's not shown in here, but you will be Lake of Firing on cooldown. Keep that debuff up. You're spamming Incinerate. Your Imp's popping off. You're spamming Chaos Bolts as much as you can. You are throwing up Immolates as the debuff falls off. Looks like they threw Searing Pain in here to grab maybe a last second cast. Shadow Burn, and then Curse of Wreck is going to be the curse to put up. I thought it was going to be Curse of Elements, but I guess not. Maybe that's something we can change here in settings. Yes, it's actually simming for Curse of Elements, but it's not casting Curse of Elements. Not sure what that's about. Maybe that's a little bit of an issue with sims, but it's only going to increase your damage. It's not too big of a deal. But yeah, that's best in slot build for Phase 2. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. Again, thanks for the Warlock Discord and the guys over at WoW Sims that made this possible. This is awesome. I'll put a link to the Sims below so you guys can mess with it yourselves, and a link to the Warlock Discord so you can get all this information before I bring it to you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been Java Monkey J. Like and subscribe. Peace.